Great, that was a very hard act to follow, but it put me in a really good mood, so thank you. It's made my day a whole lot better. I'm Anastasia, or Tash, as Heidi said. I'm going to tell you about a project called Woza that was actually born in a bar. So good things can happen in bars. Before I tell you what the project is all about, so I'm going to tell you who runs the project predominantly. So it's really a two-man show, and that's me, Anastasia, over here in my TV suits in the BSL3, and I'm a biomedical TV researcher. And this grumpy-looking guy over here, Ed Young, is a conceptual or visual artist, and if anyone's familiar with the art scene in South Africa, you probably would have heard of him. His work is probably, in the nicest way, described as irreverent, and in the worst way, could really be described as offensive. And we both have loose affiliations with CIDRI, which is the Clinical Infectious Disease Research Initiative based at the IDM, so most of you will know that. Myself as a postdoctoral research fellow, and Ed very loosely as a public engagement consultant. So I guess before I tell you who we are, I should tell you what we do, but it's really difficult to describe. So we do public engagement, we do social upliftment, we do community engagement, we do education, we do skills development, we do all of those, but none of those. And so it's really difficult to box this project, particularly when writing about it or trying to evaluate it. So I'm going to try and tell you how we do what we do, and hopefully that'll make things a little bit clearer. So basically what we do is we try to engage people with biomedical TB research rather than traditional health information, because there's a lot of groups that already do that. Some of them do it very well and make a very important difference, and some of them don't do it that well. So our focus is on biomedical research rather than health information. So we run a series of 5 biomedical research workshops with learners from Khayelitsha, aged 15 to 17 years old, in the IDM labs. And these are very hands-on and very experimental, so learners get to do experiments in the labs and are exposed to internationally renowned scientists who give a lot of talks and try to explain the research. So this is just a picture of some of the learners. What we do after that is we provide the learners with very high-end film equipment, and we ask them to document the tuberculosis problem from within the community. And part of that is arranging shoot days where the learners go out into communities of their choice. So sometimes the learners will choose places like Imkanini, which is one of the most poorest areas of Khayelitsha. Other times students will choose to go to Museberg or Gardens and interview people about TB. And it really is up to the learners about where they want to talk about TB and document the TB problem. And often what happens during this process is learners tell people that they engage with about TB and what they've learned in the scientific workshops that they've been through. So this is just a picture of a group of learners interviewing a man in Khayelitsha who actually had TB at the time of the interview, and I think probably still has TB. And so there's a lot of interaction around the science and a lot of communication about TB. The learners then go into a 2-week, very intensive media editing workshop phase that Ed runs. And here they learn to edit their very own documentaries. So these are truly youth-produced documentaries. Ed doesn't do any of the editing or any of the composing of stories. So these are learners from Khayelitsha, many of whom have never seen a Mac before, that are learning to use really high-end editing software, professional stuff like Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, and all the associated programs that I don't even know how to use. So I don't even know how to explain to these kids how to do these things. And so it's really amazing that after 2 weeks they produced 4-minute documentaries through this process completely by themselves. So who do we work with to do this? We work with the company, and this is really something that developed very organically as the whole project does. We don't have any specific outcomes or particular objectives. All of these things have developed through social interactions and conversations socially. And so the learners are recruited from a company, which most of you probably know, but it's a great organization in terms of education, because they don't only focus on the most talented students within schools or communities. Anybody is welcome to apply, and the only thing you need to be at a Campo is a willingness to do better. And I think that's quite amazing, because sometimes academic potential isn't always evident when learners are younger. And then we get a lot of help from the IDM, and work with a lot of scientists and people at the IDM have been incredibly supportive of this project, which was already only born 2 years ago, and it's very much a side project for Ed and I. But so there's a whole lot of people that help us, and this is just a couple of pictures of them. So this is Nishka from CIDRI, and then these are from SACFI and Natsumi, who help us with the scientific workshops. and make sure all of that gets done. And this is Joe, who accompanied us on a shoot day in Imkanini, and has really helped a lot in developing this project, and has been a major source of emotional support for me as well. It is great. But help comes in lots of different forms. So our funders are the Wellcome Trust. We've been really lucky to source quite a bit of significant funding from the Wellcome Trust, and more recently from the National Research Foundation, who are really starting to get on board with public engagements around science and biomedical research, particularly for diseases such as TB, which have an incredibly devastating impact on the communities. I mean, almost every learner that we engage with, it's about 30 learners over the last 2 years, have had very personal experiences of TB, with loved ones dying or being hospitalized. And then we get a lot of institutional support from the IDM and from UCT, so that's really, really useful. So what makes the project special? I haven't spoken about what makes it difficult, but what makes it special is learners get exposure to biomedical research, media production, and learn a lot about ethical issues. How do you tell a story? What parts of the story do you want to tell? How do you approach people when you want to interview them? And those are very technical skills. It's also, again, it's not health information, it's biomedical research, and there aren't a lot of people doing that kind of work. We're very, very, very keen on working with small groups of learners so we can have very focused interactions with these learners. We don't want to do an intervention that targets 1,000 people. We have focused and very personal interaction with the learners, and I think this develops a sense of confidence and validation in people, which I think is just a bare human need, and this is often very important. It's considered public engagement, so it's not just public engagement for public engagement's sake because you're working in a biomedical research institution running a clinical trial and you have to. We're doing this because we want to, and we want to truly engage people in the best possible way. It's also quite interesting because it's truly collaborative. This is not a biomedical scientist commissioning an artist. The artist and the scientist collaborate. Often we clash because it's quite difficult, but we actually truly collaborate and come to decisions together, and I think that really forms cross-disciplinary work. Which is part of the reason that this works, I think. And on that note, we both are still very much embedded within our specialist discipline. So I'm still very much a biomedical researcher. I'm not a public engagement consultant or, a communicator of science. I'm a researcher, and Ed is still very much a conceptual artist. And so we still have our skills that we bring to the project. Everyone learns during the project. So the learners learn, but I think we learn a lot about running projects. I learn a lot about science, but I also learn a lot about myself through the project. Then the other thing that's quite important is that the media products often, I've only started listening to this word, participatory media projects, and people often talk about whether the process or the product's important. And I think we're really lucky in this project that the process goes really well, but the product is super high-end. And unfortunately, Heidi refused to let me show any of the videos here. So I implore you to go to their Woza website to look at some of these because they're super high quality, not grainy or badly shot. They are really, really good, and the sound is really good. Yeah, and there's a lot of skills transfer: communication, time management, confidence, consideration, and this is a lot of kind of softer skills that the learners learn. So yeah, that's it. I was going to talk about the difficulties, but I'm out of time. So yeah, thank you very much. Any questions?